Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the launch of the WTM Global Trends Report 2014 in association with Euromonitor International. My name is Nicole Collette, and I am the Press and PR Executive for World Travel Market. So back in 2006, World Travel Market asked Euromonitor International to help it compile a comprehensive report on the global travel industry from a regional perspective. The report has proved so popular that it has run every year since 2007. And its popularity is a testament to the packed room I see before me. This is the 9th edition of the WTM Global Trends Report, which has a track record of predicting trends within the travel industry. The report is split into 9 chapters, and each one represents a region on the World Travel Market exhibition floor, covering the UK and Ireland, Europe and the Mediterranean, Africa, the Middle East, Americas, Asia, India, Global Village, and the Travel Tech Show at WTM. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to BBC World News presenter Babita Sharma, who will present the findings. Euromonitor International has assembled a high-level panel led by Head of Travel and Tourism Research, Caroline Bremner, to answer any questions you may have following the conclusion of the report's presentation. So, Babita, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wasn't expecting a round of applause. I haven't done anything yet, but thank you very much for that. It's my pleasure to be here again this year to present to you the 2014 Global Trends Report in association with Euromonitor International. And as Nicole was saying, I'm pleased to say that we've got the team here who've been diligently working for the past year, putting these findings together for you. They're going to come up on stage for a short question and answer session after we go through the report. So please stay here for that. I know many of you will have questions, and we will, of course, take them in an orderly fashion. But if I can just ask you please to put your mobile phones on silent before we begin, that would be great. So let's begin then the key findings of the Global Trends Report 2014, revealing how cycling is competing with golf for the leisure time of middle-aged men in America, with the rise of the mammals, middle-aged men in Lycra. Oh yes, we'll hear more about that. Whilst in the UK, hostels are undergoing a facelift to compete with boutique hotels. Europeans are enjoying eating out using peer-to-peer dining websites, and wearable electronics are going mainstream in travel technology. And over in the Middle East, design weeks are attracting a growing number of creative travellers. Meanwhile, in Africa, surf tourism is growing in popularity, whilst hotels are encouraging guests to post on social media, which has led to the rise of the braggies phenomenon. More on that later. And Euromonitor International uncovered that Asia is currently witnessing the expansion of travel bookings via messaging services such as WeChat, and in India it's going through an online rail booking boom. We're going to talk about that in more detail. But first, let's get a global overview of this year's report. The global economy continues to prosper, moving slowly in the right direction, with the International Monetary Fund predicting GDP growth of 3.4% in 2014, up from around 3% in 2013. Now, despite an expected slowdown, China is poised to overtake America as the world's largest economy in purchasing power parity terms this year alone. International arrivals, they continue to grow, with spending boosted by the middle and affluent classes in Asia. Hotels are performing well in North America and Asia Pacific, whilst low-cost carriers remain the most dynamic category for air transport. Mobile technology is transforming the travel landscape in terms of bookings, customer service and consumer behaviour, whilst destination services and peer-to-peer alternatives are also considered to be driving forces when we look ahead to what's around the corner. Now, the global travel industry is expected to perform well right through to 2018, with arrivals and incoming receipts and annual growth hovering at around about 4%. Online travel remains the industry's star performer, but the online market is maturing, with growth tapering off, dipping below around 7% by 2018. Continued growth will largely be driven by demand from emerging markets, particularly Asia Pacific. Now, let's begin our World Travel Market Global Trends Report 2014 in association with Euromonitor International by heading to the Americas, where cycling is taking on the golf target market. Cycling is fast becoming one of the most popular leisure pastimes of middle-aged men. Not many in this room. Very young, of course. And we are delighted to introduce to you, some of you may identify with this, the mammal, otherwise known as middle-aged men in lycra. Golf has been the long traditional pastime for affluent middle-aged men, but is now facing a bit of increased competition from cycling. A growing number of tour operators and companies are offering cycling holidays, with Duvine Cycling and Adventure Company seeing an increase of 70% for its tours since 2009. Destinations in Europe and California are the most popular, and Travel Oregon has found that travellers on overnight cycling trips spend about 20% more than the average overnight traveller. Now, cycling at least 6 times a year attracted over 35 million participants in 2013, whereas golfing for at least 2 days a year had only 18.9 million participants. Now, as consumer interest in fitness continues to grow, cycling tourism will benefit as it delivers an active holiday which appeals to Generation X and baby boomers. Destinations such as Costa Rica will offer strong infrastructure in terms of good roads, and cycle-friendly businesses will grow in popularity. However, the golf industry is not to be written off. You might be pleased to know those middle-aged men that are partaking in it as we speak, as it is enjoying growth in Asian markets, and it is increasingly catering to changing consumer preferences by offering new amenities and different styles of golf to appeal to different demographics. Now, let's move on to the UK, where hostels are having a bit of a luxury facelift. Consumption patterns have shifted after the economic crisis here, with a rise in demand for low-cost, high-value travel and non-conventional lodging establishments. Hostels are now making a bid for the cost-conscious but style-seeking consumers by glamorizing communal living, offering high-tech facilities, and coining the phrase poshtels to compete with boutique hotels. Now, the poshtel concept is popular with the young, families, business and single travellers who appreciate the social aspect of staying at hostels, but with a very attractive price tag starting from as little as around about £12. Now, the term poshtel identifies lifestyle hostels that have sprung up recently and are no longer about being the absolute cheapest anymore, according to Carl Michel, Executive Chairman of Generator Hostels. New budget accommodation options are thriving in the UK, set against a backdrop of falling domestic tourism expenditure on accommodation due to increased price pressure. Hostels will continue to be an appealing and cost-effective alternative. Clink hostels have adopted trading with bitcoins as a payment for rooms, so new payment methods can help hostels compete with online intermediaries as well as expand their client base. Hostels are also expected to adopt new distribution channels to enable guests to book directly from social media sites or via mobile devices. Now, let's turn to Europe, where the latest peer-to-peer brands offer travellers a chance to eat like Europeans. Now, the advance of peer-to-peer brands continues in Europe as consumers search for value for money, combined with more authentic experiences for their travel and holidays. Following the success of peer-to-peer holiday rentals like Airbnb, travellers are increasingly enjoying eating with local residents. Now, one popular site is eatwith.com that works by pairing travellers with home cooks at their holiday destinations. The motto of the site is to experience life like a local. Book a Local is another site that operates a network of locals who offer meals, cooking classes, workshops and tours to tourists. Now, for both sites, guest reviews are very important, as well as information on food quality, venue and cleanliness. France leads the way in terms of European countries for tourism expenditure on food, which is estimated to reach almost $40 billion by 2018. Expansion across Europe is expected for eating with local websites. Eastern European countries are likely to embrace this concept as the sharing economy takes off and there is a strong gastronomic heritage to be built on here. In-destination services are predicted to be one of the fastest growing areas in travel industry over the next 5 years, particularly on-the-go dining bookings made via mobile devices. Now this year, 2014, online travel companies entered the arena of dining reservations. Priceline bought OpenTable for $2.6 billion, and TripAdvisor purchased La Fourchette, a European online restaurant reservation service. Both these acquisitions illustrate the appeal of peer-to-peer dining companies to add diversification and improve the overall travel experience. Now let's have a look at travel technology, where wearable technology is finally reaching the mainstream. Travelers are increasingly connected to the internet through different types of mobile devices. It's fast changing. Wearable internet connected devices now allow travelers to constantly receive notifications and services during their trip, as well as making bookings this way too. This represents a challenge for travel companies who will need to build a flexible architecture to follow their customers from one device to another. Products currently on sale include Sony smartwatch, Samsung Galaxy Gear, and Google Glass. Now, Google has also developed Android Wear software for wearable electronics. The Apple Watch will go on sale from early 2015. Yep, next year, and it's expected to take this sector by storm. Global wearable technology volume sales are expected to reach over 220 million by 2018, made up of autonomous and passive wearable electronics. Autonomous devices are stand-alone and they have a built-in processor, whilst passive devices collect data and relay it to another device for processing. Now, some of the leading travel companies are releasing apps for wearables with a focus on booking functions and customer services. Expedia, they released an app for the Samsung Galaxy Gear smartwatch in August of this year and is working on one for Google Glass, both focusing on notifications for travelers. The Starwood app for Google Glass allows bookings and provides directions to get to the hotel when at the destination. It will also be possible to use Apple Watch as a room key in Starwood hotels. Iberia, Vueling and Air Berlin announced that their passengers will be able to download boarding passes directly onto their wearable devices. Now, the challenge for travel companies concerning wearable technology is to be present and easy to reach by consumers throughout the whole travel experience, particularly in terms of notifications, assistance, service and additional bookings. Now, let's explore the Middle East, which is trying to present itself as a design hub. It is the region positioning itself as a design hub from Beirut, which has the talent and production capabilities, right through to Dubai, which has the financial resources to create the environment. Now, in recent years, events such as Design Days Dubai and Beirut Design Week have attracted international design professionals, with these two events showcasing their destinations under a very different light, completely away from the bling-bling of Dubai and political instability of Beirut. These types of events are enticing world travelers with an interest in design who are keen to visit the region despite the ongoing political situation. The Middle East's design weeks are also helping revive Arabic culture and authenticity through works inspired by regional roots, tradition, calligraphy, and styles. Visitors to Dubai Design Days 2014 were mainly locals and regional tourists, with 60% from the United Arab Emirates, 25% from the GCC region, and the remaining 15% from further afield. Now, across the region, destinations are catching on to this design trend, offering their own unique angle. Saudi Arabia hosted its first Design Week in Riyadh in 2014, which took the form of a series of talks, whereas Design Days Dubai is a fair that focuses on galleries exhibiting and selling limited edition artworks. Now, design hotels, they are likely to benefit from this trend by associating themselves with the design events as seen in Beirut's new design hotel, the Smallville, which showcased works of local designers. Africa. Let's head there now, where we are going surfing. Surfing is categorized by a youthful demographic here in sporting lifestyle, and it's estimated that 35 million people surf worldwide. Now, thanks to Africa's beautiful and expansive coastlines and the ease of access to waves, the International Surfing Association, ISA, has made Africa a major priority for developing surfing with the aim of stimulating local economies and creating new jobs. In South Africa, where there is already a thriving surf scene centred around Durban, surf schools are proliferating, and there are plans to open a surfing museum there too. Now, according to Sean Brodie from the ISA Africa advisor there, he says if surf tourism is developed in a sustainable fashion, it can lead to improvements in healthcare, education, job opportunities and infrastructure. Additionally, he adds, the sport of surfing acts as a catalyst for peacekeeping, since the youth have a positive activity to focus on. Surfer Today estimates that there will be 50 million people surfing worldwide by 2020. One of the main attractions of African surfing is the 26,000 kilometre of uncrowded coastline, unlike many popular surfing destinations like in Europe, Australasia and the Americas. Now, thanks to their natural resources, countries such as Ghana and Ivory Coast are expected to benefit most from the rise of surfing tourism. These countries, they're currently building a West African Surfing Association and working together to promote tourism through surfing in the West African region. Ghana will host the Africa Surf Series next year, 2015, which aims to attract surfers from Africa and disperse surf communities across the world. We should say, though, that the spread of Ebola is, however, a major threat which could delay the development of surf tourism in West Africa. Now, onto the global village, where hotels are encouraging guests to take selfies and talk about their hotel experiences on social media, leading to the term the braggy phenomenon. Now, according to a survey by eMarketeer, the number of social media users across the globe increased by 18% in 2013 to exceed 1.7 billion users. Now, nearly all major hotel brands are present on platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, with the most successful using content drawn from their customers' behavior online. The braggy photo is one such behavior where holiday makers upload photos of themselves on holiday within 10 minutes of arriving at their hotel. You've done it. I know you have. This is a new, fast and efficient way of bragging to their friends about where they are, comparable to the selfie craze that took social media by storm. WhatsApp leads the pace here for photo uploading in 2013 with an estimated 500 million daily uploads. Facebook was second with 350 million photos daily, and Google Plus had 214 million. Hotels have responded to the trend by rewarding guests with upload braggies. Kimpton Hotels introduced a Karma Rewards program offering perks such as free Wi-Fi and spa vouchers for guests that are posting pictures on social media, whilst Marriott offered reward points for check-ins and photos. Social media sharing and adoption is growing around the world, with consumers in emerging markets being the most active on social media, according to a Pew Research Centre report. hotels and travel accommodation outlets should look towards countries such as China, Brazil, Argentina, and the Middle East, where social media usage is growing very fast. The airline sector can also benefit from this trend. Qantas is already reviewing social media conversations, but further action could be taken there to boost loyalty with customers. Now onwards to Asia, where instant messaging is moving into the world of e-commerce and travel bookings. The popularity of instant messaging is recording a strong rise across the world, driven by the growth of smartphones, making it a rival to social media and telecom companies. In Asia, leading companies including WeChat, owned by Tencent in China, with an estimated 440 million active users, and also Line in Japan. WeChat is monetizing its popularity by offering new services such as online travel bookings. Leading Chinese online travel agency Ctrip already sells air, train and attraction tickets and offers group buying deals through WeChat as well as other services. Now, the low-cost carrier Spring Airlines launched a WeChat service in April of this year, allowing users to book flights, check in, check flight statuses, and communicate with customer service. According to Ma Huateng, chairman and CEO of Tencent, WeChat has been enhanced from a communication tool to a multifunctional platform through initiatives such as smartphone games, official accounts, and payment functions. WeChat is expected to generate revenues of $1.1 billion in 2014 and register growth of 40% in 2015. It is steadily expanding into international markets, recording especially rapid growth in the emerging markets of Southeast Asia and Latin America, and it is catching up on the world's leading messaging app, WhatsApp, which has 500 million users. Now, according to Hotel.com survey, WeChat is the favorite platform in China today for consumers to share travel experiences ahead of social media. Now, given the fast-growing role of messaging services around the world, travel companies are expected to embrace them for customer service, bookings as well, and payments, much as they did beforehand with social media. Now, finally, let's take a look at India, where online rail bookings are experiencing an online boom. Rail is the most popular mode of transport in India, particularly for rural consumers, but long queues for buying tickets are a deterrent. However, with an increase of 300% in online bookings between March of last year and March of this year, rail is now the fastest growing category in online travel in India. The Indian government is constantly working to improve the telecommunications infrastructure in order to increase internet penetration across India, which has helped boost demand here. Consumers can buy directly from the Indian Railways website, as well as from online travel retailers such as Cleartrip and Yatra. Solid, steady growth is expected for rail sales in India, rising from $5 billion in 2014 to $8.5 billion predicted for 2018. Mobile devices are now the most popular way to access the internet in India, with 72 million mobile internet subscriptions in 2013. Now, as a result, companies are developing mobile apps for booking rail tickets, with Indian Railways and Cleartrip launching apps for booking and providing real-time status updates. The boost in online bookings is part of a larger innovative drive by Indian Railways to compete with low-cost carriers in the country on a number of key routes. 6 high-speed corridors have been identified here, with the Mumbai to Ahmedabad being the pilot scheme. The ultimate aim is to connect all of India's major cities and possibly abroad. That concludes this year's Global Trends Report 2014 in association with Euromonitor International. Those are the beautiful faces that have been working very hard on the findings. I'm pleased to say that 3 of them are with us today for a short question and answer session, which we're going to undertake now. Just a note, though, if you are interested in having a one-to-one interview with any of the team, do stay behind. Chat to Violetta, who is at the back there waving a hand for us. She'll give you details of those one-to-one interviews, possibly around about 3:30 this afternoon, I think, which will be great as well. And I should also let you know that Euromonitor, the team here, will be holding a Twitter chat, won't you? Yes. Social media are embracing it. And that's going to take place on Monday, the 10th of November at 3:30 to discuss all the trends that we've outlined here, the WTM Global Trends Report. You can follow the conversation, as always, before that date at a hashtag WTMEMI. Hashtag WTMEMI. So let's get the question and answer session underway. I'd like to welcome on stage